You are now listening to Random Ramblings with Yay! Yeah!
Man, screw my regular intro. You know what show it is? Well, I'm sorry. Let's take that back from the top. What up? This your boy B-Rob, and you are now listening to the Random Rounds with Rob podcast. First and foremost, let me thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week and listening to my show, or however you listen to podcasts. If you're a new listener, I'd like to thank you for taking the chance listening to my show. But, yeah, I done got through all the pleasantries and everything. I do appreciate each and every one of you that listen to the show or retweet the show or interact with the show or do anything with the show. But, I'm ready to get into this episode. I got so much going on right now. I'm trying to play NBA 2K18 on my left hand side. I'm trying to record this audio so I can put out this podcast for early Sunday morning, which is in 5 minutes. I also got my MacBook Pro booting up to my rear right in the background because I just dismantled it and put it back together so I can try to produce you some more quality audio content and maybe even some video content. I'll have dual setups now. I have this HP laptop here that I'm recording on right now that I reconstructed. I put some new RAM in there, ripped the hard drive out, put some new solid state shit up in there that I just found out about not too long ago. Uh-oh. See, my MacBook in the background pinging at me, talking about, hey, I'm done. Take me out the oven. But anyway, I got a guest this week, as just about every other week. Or every week. Yeah, it has to be every week, because every other week, that means I wouldn't have a guest. And there's probably been only 4 or 5. I don't even think it's 5 episodes where I didn't have a guest, whether it be due to technical difficulties or just my computer failing me and I had to open it up and give it open heart surgery. But nonetheless, I have a talented artist with me today out of South Louisville, Kentucky. He has been doing the rap thing solo-like for about 20 years or more now. And he stays in the underground, touring and such, as most underground rappers do. And I found out about this person through the voicemail king, Hoppy Rogers. These guys kind of grew up together. I wouldn't say like from birth, like little kids, but the formative years, you know, the adolescent years and whatnot. So they kind of sounded alike to me, you know, voice wise. You know, certain words that he was saying, it kind of reminded me of Hoppy and whatnot. But I mean, they from the same neck of the woods and everything, so that's, you know, not uncommon. But anyway, my guest this week is Anomaly, and I gave you the specs on him before. And man, we sit here and we talk about some things, little snippets of his career, his new album that's coming out, which is going to be his last solo album, as he'll tell you in this recording. And, you know, he premieres a single on my show. He said nobody else ain't heard it but you all, me, him, and you all here now on this edition of the Random Rounds with Rob podcast featuring Anomaly.
Baby, I was wondering if you was gonna call early or late.
Nah, I got here a little bit earlier than I thought I was. I had text, but it didn't really matter. Wound up being around the same time anyway.
Did that? I'm surprised you wasn't watching wrestling.
Who says I'm not? Man, it's 2017. We got all kinds of technologies that would allow me to record with you, a man of your stature in the rap game, and look at some visual delights as such as professional wrestling on my right hand side.
My man. That's how you do it.
Yeah. But hey, man, I mean, I don't really do this so much when I record or whatever, but you sent me some music or whatever.
Yes, sir.
I got it. I listened to it on my way to work this morning. I was really digging it, and we're going to go ahead and play it right off top. We're going to play it right now.
Oh, that sounds great. Go ahead. This is it's a cut off my new CD. This is the first leak ever. No one has heard this song ever. So your audience gets the first sneak peek of my new album.
Sweet. And this song is which one this is again? Because I know it's Nightmares in the title, but I'm bad with names, so I might be leaving a word or two out.
Yeah, this song is called Having Nightmares. Is exactly what it's called.
Shazam. And we're going to play that right now.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare.
Having fucking nightmares, visions of my dead folks. We're coming soon. How long do I have? Low body full of guns, smoke soaked in the blood bath. Demons haunting all my thoughts. Listen to the dark laugh. Having fucking nightmares, visions of my dead folks. Reaper coming soon. How long do I have? Low body full of guns, smoke soaked in the blood bath. Demons haunting all my thoughts. Listen to the dark laugh. Waking up in cold sweat streams of a bloody body. Paranoid, I lost my mind, thinking that they finally got me. Am I still alive or am I already dead? Hearing dirty demons as they chant in my head. Dance around my bed as they're caught up in a necromancy. Praying for forgiveness, thinking this might be my final chance. Hear the devil laugh as I scream from my soul's eye. Looking for the undertaker, this may be my last ride. Die from a homicide, maybe this my destiny. Searching for a lifeline, Father, is you testing me? Asking for a blessing, please help me take another breath. Fused in a membrane, feeling like there's nothing left. Start to second guess, is this real or just a fantasy? Just felt a cold touch, the Reaper just grabbed me. 6 G's carried me out through a black car. Yelled out no when I woke up in the graveyard. Having fucking nightmares, visions of my dead folks. Reaper coming soon, how long do I have? Low body full of guns, smoke soaked in the blood bath. Demons haunting all my thoughts, listen to the dark laugh. Having fucking nightmares, visions of my dead folks. Reaper coming soon, how long do I have? Low body full of guns, smoke soaked in the blood bath. Demons haunting all my thoughts, listen to that dark laugh. All the sound up in my eyes, filled in a fucking rage. Caught up in my evil ways, death to all my enemies. Kill them all like Kennedy, brains out they fucking faces.
Maybe you ain't know how you're dealing with a basket case.
Insane and crazy, still killed in a knife fight. Looked him in the eyes when I took that motherfucker's life. Leaning towards the light, but the darkness still calls my name. Right until I die, take a ticket on my crazy train. Know my fucking scent being chased by these hellhounds. Walking through the cemetery, call that bitch my shopping ground. Say my fucking name and I appear like the candy man. Journey through my playground, sinking in the quicksand. Time to play a game, Anomaly to turn the jigsaw. Save the fucking corpse and I fuck that pussy raw dog. Maggots on my balls and I lust for the DNA. Feel them as I crawl, taste the blood from my blade. Having fucking nightmares, visions of my dead folks. Reaper coming soon, how long do I have? Low body full of guns, smoke soaked in the blood bath. Demons haunting all my thoughts, listen to the dark laugh. Having fucking nightmares, visions of my dead folks. Reaper coming soon, how long do I have? Low body full of guns, smoke soaked in the blood bath. Demons haunting all my thoughts, listen to the dark laugh.
And we're back. Having Nightmares. What was the creative process of going ahead and putting that song together?
All right. Well, believe it or not, it's actually partially true.
Mm.
Being what you've heard the song, I know that probably surprises you, but I do have, like, for years, for about 17 years, I've had dreams of people that's passed on and stuff, and they'll tell me stuff in my dreams, and then the shit will come true, and it fucks me up. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, like, that kind of inspired it. And then the other thing is I'm a horror buff. I love horror movies. So, like, I kind of, intertwined, the whole horror tale within the second verse and everything. And, like, I'm really into horrorcore and telling stories with my music as opposed to just, blatantly saying absolutely fucking nothing with some mumble bullshit.
and then you speak that or whatever. I've been having many conversations and debates with other people that do podcasts, and they into the different styles of music, rap being one of them. And we wind up having that conversation often about the said mumble rap. So
oh my gosh.
How do you tell me how you really feel?
How do I really feel about it?
Yeah.
I will give it to you like this. When it comes to mumble rap, I don't dig it.
Mm-hmm.
I do dig some of the music that the Migos did.
Yeah.
To a degree, because there's certain things to it, and I thought they kind of categorized that Ray Summers track, Black Beatles, as mumble rap. I don't consider that mumble rap. I consider that new era hip hop. That's more like to my stature, kind of like Kid Cudi was, which it kind of surprises me. Kid Cudi didn't continue to blow up because he had a brilliant hip hop album that was kind of slept on.
Yeah,
but. Young Yachty, whatever the fuck his name is, man, somebody needs to slap that R-tard upside his head. I'm sorry. That's not music to me. I have a totally different opinion when it comes to modern hip hop. It's just not my forte at all.
I mean, so what can we attribute this to? Is it the generation of listeners that are coming up now, or do you think it's just music evolving as a trend?
Definitely music evolving as a trend. It's more of an industry thing. You know what? Mike Tyson said something recently in an interview about boxers, and the same thing can go for modern hip hop. Somebody asked Mike Tyson, they said, what's the difference between you and these new guys? And he said, plain and simple. He said, these kids are businessmen. I was a killer.
Yeah.
In the music game, you used to go up, when you came up in the game, you had to be a killer on that mic. You had to rip that mic. You had to know your trait. You wasn't just let into the fraternity, just because, you think you can rap.
Yeah. Nowadays,
these kids have marketed themselves to where these little girls love them, and all these guys want to follow their trends because that's what the girls like.
Yeah.
And they're not real MCs. They're businessmen, which, I give them credit for that. They have got the most brilliant marketing schemes pushing this shit down these kids' throats, and these kids are eating it up. But they're not real MCs.
Yeah. We've been trying to pinpoint this for a while, whatever. Where do you think the turn started to happen? I kind of want to put my finger on it and say it started happening when Soulja Boy started to blow up and everything. He was a guy that came up off of YouTube making his own thing, making his own beats, doing everything himself, and that's kind of where in my opinion, where the turn started to happen, where the rap became more beat-based and simplistic, as in lyrics, than what it used to be.
I would agree with you there. I honestly would. He's probably the originator of this bullshit, and I really, I'm more like I try to tell everybody. Hip hop lives in the underground.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop don't live in the record labels anymore. It just don't. I go to underground shows and I see literal real talent. I go to underground shows and I see guys who paved the way for me that I was banging in the 90s too. I see them doing shows now, and I still get starstruck. I do shows with these cats. I get starstruck just being there with them. That's real MCs. If you put me in the same room with the Migos, I would look at them like, are you out of your motherfucking mind?
You probably feel like Joe Budden.
Yeah, I really do. And I respect Joe Budden. Joe Budden is, if there is a savior of hip hop, Joe Budden is it.
I kind of agree with his message, but I don't really like his delivery of the message, It's just
I think he's fed up.
Yeah, I can understand your frustration and everything or whatever, but I'm more of a person to be like, if I have an issue with somebody or if I'm trying to help somebody, I'm not going to put what I'm doing out in the public. I'm going to pull that person aside and I'm going to try to help them, on a more personal level, but at the same time, we had this conversation before on, #Blackout podcast. They agree with him in the way that he went about it, because if you put it on a public format like that, people who are going through that similar situation as far as these record deals and all kind of stuff can hear what he's saying and be like, oh shit, that's happening to me too. So, I mean, it's just a double-edged sword, I guess.
You know, like, all right, this is the point. You know, I'm an older man. You know, I'm almost 40 years old. I've been doing this stuff since I've been doing battle raps and open mics and stuff since I was 14 years old. And I put out my first mixtape in 2000, and it was horrible. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie. It was horrible, but I was just getting my feet wet. You feel me?
I can understand.
I put out my first legitimate CD that was an actual underground LP. I put that out in 2004, and I've pushed it ever since. And I've learned my skill. You know, I've honed everything, and I learned how to get paid doing it, promote myself, and push myself. Mm-hmm. I don't think these young cats are doing that anymore. They just pick anybody up on the street and they're like, hey, you got a good look, let's make you a rapper. Yeah. And that's not the art form. Hip hop is an art form. It's a way of expression. It's a way of telling the stories of what's going on that you see and letting the rest of the world see it so they understand what you're coming up in.
Yeah.
I don't feel that with some of these kids. How can you have a message when no one can understand a damn word you say?
Yeah. Well, at the same time, I hear what you're saying in, you know, regards to some rappers or whatever. What if a guy's just good at rapping, you know? I mean, he doesn't have that tragic background or whatever. He comes from a loving home and all kind of stuff, but he is actually good at the craft, you know? I mean, what could we say about somebody like that as long as they're good, you know?
As long as they're keeping it real,
yeah,
I have no problem with that. Let them keep it real. You know, that's the whole thing. To me, it's about keeping it real. Mm-hmm. One of the guys that's in my group, all right, because I'm part of a group, okay? Yeah. His name is Mr. Catastrophic, and he's going to be happy as hell when he hears this and sees I just, you know, plugged his name. But he is a brilliant MC. I'm talking about dude, in my opinion, he's one of the top MCs in the state of Kentucky, and he's slept on by a lot of people. You never hear him in one lyric talk about street life, selling drugs, anything like that. He never says anything like that, but he speaks the truth and he tells a story in every song. You can close your eyes, hear his lyrics, and envision everything he's telling you on a positive note. That's keeping it real.
Yeah. You made me want to pull up some music.
I'll definitely send you some links. You might want to have him on the show because he is the person who has produced and engineered this entire album. Sweet. And this is his first production and engineering job ever. And he's a definite up and comer. And this album, I honestly think this album's going to do more for his career than it ever will for mine.
Okay. And see, and that's what I like about, since I've been doing this podcast or whatever, it's just that it's turned me on to more music. I mean, I listen to an assload of music anyway, but it's, you know, shit you hear on the radio and a lot of the old stuff that I grew up listening to. I mean, I don't really listen to, you know, a lot of the new stuff. I've been finding myself listening to more independent artists or whatever. And that's who more than likely I'll have on my show. I mean, now if Nas, Jay-Z, or somebody over that ilk could come on and be like, hey, baby, I'll be on your show. I'm like, I ain't going to say fuck you and your couch. I'm going to be like, nah, come the fuck on the show.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you know, that's something a lot of people do not realize, that a lot of the artists that we grew up on are still touring and putting out new CDs, like Young Bleed. Yes. Young Bleed, he's putting out CD after CD. This man is at the top of his game.
Balls
and most people don't realize he's still touring.
I didn't either, and I like the dude.
And see, look, this is a true story, all right? And Hoppy was there for this story, all right? Good old Hoppy Raj. We went to a show here in Louisville a couple years back. And Young Bleed and my man Chucky Workclothes from Naptown, they were the top acts at the show. We're there. We rent a pool table. And we're back there shooting pool, me and my cousin Sean. Hoppy comes walking up. He says, hey, man. He said, my dude wants to shoot pool. I look over. I see who it is. It's Young Bleed. Well, I'm like, hell yeah, Bleed can shoot pool with us. My cousin sits there and shoots pool with Young Bleed 3 games. They play 3 games, and he never realizes it's Young Bleed. He's like coming up to me. He's like, what's up, man? My name is Sean, man. What's your name? You play a good game of pool. He's like, man, my name's Bleezy. My name's Bleezy, bro. He's like, cool. And then I'm like, Sean, you realize that's Young Bleed, right? He said, no, who? I said, dude, that's Young Bleed from No Limit. And like, he was like, no, like in total awe, like shocked. I mean, man, Cat is the most down-to-earth dude you will ever meet in your life, and he's putting out top music right now, and a lot of people don't even realize it.
Yeah. And see, that was another thing, like in the beginnings of, Balls on My Word, favorite CD that I've heard, from my childhood. And,
man.
From, the first couple of CDs that Young Bleed put out, I don't know if it was just a certain direction with the album art, but they didn't never really show his face on the album covers.
No, they didn't.
He always had his back toward the camera, or he was looking away from the camera. So I was like, until I seen that How You Do That there video, I didn't know what he looked like either. So if I was in that dude's situation, I'd be like, yeah, I didn't know that was him either.
Hey, I'll tell you this. It was last summer. Him and Chucky Workclothes. And if y'all don't know who Chucky Workclothes is, everybody who's listening to my dude Ramblin' Rob, y'all need to go Google Chucky Workclothes, because he's the top artist out of Indianapolis right now. The guy puts in work like no other. But him and Young Bleed stopped by here in my neighborhood, okay? Mm-hmm. Stopped by here, and he was buying Chucky was getting a couple of jerseys off me, because I'm the jersey man. I sell jerseys. He was getting a couple of jerseys off me. Young Bleed jumps out of the truck. They come over there. He's sitting there talking to me. Everybody in the neighborhood out. Not one person realized Young Bleed was on the block.
Well, I mean, then again, like I said, I didn't know what the motherfucking face looked like for a while, so I probably did the
same thing. I'm telling you, man, he's a dude. Every interaction I've had with him he's a great dude, man. Stand-up guy. Very modest, very, very modest. He gave me that night that I was talking about. He gave me his Balls in My Word concert shirts that he was selling on this tour.
Word.
Yeah, good people, good people.
All right. I mean, we've kind of bounced off of music in a little bit or whatever, but what got you here? What got you interested into pursuing a career in rap?
It's funny, because I was actually telling my chick about this about 10 days ago. And what happened is I grew up in the projects out here. And I used to go back and forth to the doctor's office. I had to go from my apartment to the doctor's office. I had to walk there every day for rehabilitation on my knee. And when I would do my walk, I'd go there by myself, and I just started freestyling. And, it wasn't no big deal. It was just a way for me to pass the time. Mm-hmm. Well, one day, I'm kicking it with my big homie, and, like, he's playing instrumentals. He's just trying to freestyle. He's like, hey, you think you could spit something? And I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, well, spit something. So I spit it, and he was like, bro, that was tight. He was like, you're actually good. Mm-hmm. I was like, you think so? He's like, yeah. So, like, he kind of made me like the stage show of Traction. Like, we would be sitting out on the porch back in the day in the early 90s or whatnot, and he'd be like, hey, the white boy can rap. And everybody'd be like, what? No. So he'd be like, go ahead and rap for him. So I started rapping, and everybody would pay attention and just listen to me.
Now, whenever you was put in situations like that, did you feel any pressure, or did you just felt at home doing it?
I kind of enjoyed it. That's how I knew, man. It's because I enjoyed it. Like, everybody was like, all eyes was on me. And I mean, you're talking, when we had our little porch get-togethers and stuff, man, there was like 25, 30 people out there. I was on the spot, and I dug it. Yeah. It was like, wow, everybody's paying attention to what I'm saying. Everybody's, digging it. Ain't nobody telling me I suck. I must be good at this shit. So that's what started it. And, but the thing is when I first started it, my mind wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is I was still young, and I didn't, I had a lot of other issues involved. I had a very bad drug problem at that time. So I was more into the street life and just trying to flow on the side, as opposed to like actually trying to make a career out of it.
Okay.
It wasn't until I got clean and sober in 2003. When I got clean and sober in 2003, that's when I started trying to take it serious. I put out my first mixtape in 2000. Like I said, it sucked. The reason it sucked is because I was high. I wasn't taking it serious. I didn't even know what a bar was yet. I didn't know how to count bars. I just knew how to freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So around 2003, I got completely clean and sober, and that's a great blessing. It's the greatest blessing that ever happened to my life, was getting clean and sober. And I mean off everything, man. I ain't smoked a joint, took a drink, nothing since 2003. I'm 100% clean.
Yeah, that truly is an anomaly.
Yes, it is. But in 2004, I was actually a bouncer at this nightclub here in Louisville. And a buddy of mine had just gotten out of the penitentiary, and he just randomly showed up in the club. I hadn't seen this guy in over a year because he'd been in the penitentiary. And he showed up at the club, and he ended up becoming a bouncer there too. He was starting to rap, and this was when everybody was starting to figure out the whole computer equipment, which back then was, Cool Edit Pro, Fruity Loops, and everybody was figuring out you could build your own studio on a computer. They had already done that. So they kind of took me in with them, and they was like, hey, come over here, and, we're making music, we're putting out our little mixtapes and whatnot. We want you to, come over because we know you flow and everything. They're the ones who taught me how to count bars and make structured songs and all that. They did all that within a year. They really took a lot of time and effort to do that. And hey man, I gotta give him a shout out. My boy Camo, he's locked down right now doing 9 years. And my boy Existence and my homie Diamond. If it wasn't for them dudes sitting me down and teaching me how to make a structured song, and I would have never done anything with it.
Yeah.
But,
and that's the thing too, is like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a rapper or whatever, or I possess the skill to do such a thing, but it has always intrigued me on how they do it. Like how you sitting there talking about bars and everything, and just the different methods of people, how they go about structuring their flow and everything. Some people actually sit down and write. Some people just kind of freestyle and put it all together and everything. I've always been intrigued with the process rather than actually doing it myself, Yeah.
I always said if people who listen to music knew how much a person puts into actually making a structured song, they'd have a lot more respect for it.
Yeah.
But then again, they might not have any respect for this modern shit because they ain't doing nothing. But I mean, it does. It takes you really got to learn a lot about mathematics to properly do it. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells you. If they're telling you otherwise, they're a liar. You have to learn mathematics. And, usually you got a 16 bar set, you got 16 bars that's going to fit in a 48 second slot. And you need to tell a story in 48 seconds. You want to start out with a beginning and an ending in 48 seconds and tell your story on that first verse. I mean, it's not easy. It's easy for someone to do it who ain't doing it properly, but to do it properly takes a lot of skill, a lot of time, and a lot of effort to learn how to properly do it. And that's just the music part. That's not even counting the business aspect, learning about publishing your music, learning about putting it on the internet to sell, linking your PayPal, all that stuff. You're talking about a totally different animal right there.
Yeah. That animal has some big teeth.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, the thing is Louisville is one of the most slept on cities when it comes to talent. There is so much talent out here that is slept on. And I've been all over the U.S. Hoppy can tell you because Hoppy was with me. There is so much talent here that is slept on. Like two guys that have been pushing their music to the brink. I mean, one guy it should be more well known than he already is. He's been pushing his music since the 90s, and his name is Buckshot. This man just put out a CD called Weirdo. He's got features from Tech Nine on there, Chris Calico, and you say his name in some areas, they don't even know who he is, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, and another guy out here who really pushes his stuff is Cadillac Dundee. This guy has got a venomous verse. I mean, every verse he spits is venom. This man rips beats to shreds like he's Twister.
Oh, shit.
But I mean, there's just so much musical talent out here because there's so much competition out here in Louisville. Everybody out here in Louisville is in a competition.
Yeah,
they want to prove that they're the best.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
I was giving you time to get your laugh out.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, I offended him. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, but it's like that out here. It really is.
No,
but I love it.
You kind of mentioned it a little bit. Happy.
Yeah.
Where does this man come into your life?
It's funny. I met him we met in around 2000. And he was actually my neighbor. And I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I mean, this was back in 2000. Like I told you, I didn't get clean till 2003. Mm-hmm. Me and my homies, we was running a trap house above him. He lived below us. We lived in the middle. John Cena lived above us. And that is a fact. The John Cena. And no, he was not famous then. We never thought he'd be famous. He was the weird guy who walked around in bikini underwear all the time. True story, dude. But this was when he was training in OVW. He was training under Danny Davis here in OVW with a lot of other guys who became big stars in wrestling, but he was our neighbor. But we was potheads, and Hoppy was a pothead too.
You know what? I mean, I heard Hoppy say the same thing, and I'm hearing you say it now. I'm just like, I'm listening to what you're saying, but I don't want you to gloss over the fact that y'all live by John Cena.
Oh man, hey dude, you got to understand, man. If you've seen the way these apartments were set up, there was a laundry room down in the basement. Okay, it was normal to see this 6'3", 260-pound bodybuilder standing there doing his laundry in some bikini drawers, some tube socks pulled up to his knees, and a pair of New Balances on, with frosted blonde hair, bangs sticking out everywhere, and he was the most polite motherfucker you would ever meet in your life. We'd walk past him, I'm talking about we was on our thug shit. We'd walk past him, and he'd be like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" We're like, "What's up, John?" Guy was too cool for school. He was always laid back. He was a real nice guy. I mean, it's not like I would see him. This was, almost 18 years ago. I mean, it's not like we was bosom buddies, but we was neighbors.
Okay.
But the dude, yeah, I mean, he would like we lived by a lake, and like it was common, dude. Like he would jog around the lake in bikini underwear all the time. We was like, "There's that weird motherfucker John again."
All right, back to Happy.
But yeah, we was all potheads and other shit. And my boy Shorty, who I gotta give him a shout out. He's halfway done with a 20-year sentence in the penitentiary right now. But he introduced me to Hoppy. And he said, "Come on, let's go downstairs to the neighbors. Let's get blunt." I'm like, "Cool." So we go down there, and he's like, "What's up?" And he wouldn't go about Hoppy then, and I ain't gonna put his government out like that. But for the interview sake, Hoppy. Like, "What's up?" I'm like, "What's up?" "Let's smoke some weed." And that's how we got cool. And through it all, like, me and him became best buddies. I mean, like I said, the dude that introduced us to each other, man, like I said, he's doing 20 years in the penitentiary right now. He spent most of his adult life in the penitentiary. The other guy that was in our crew back then, we hardly see him anymore. Me and Hoppy stay tight no matter what. Wow. And we had a lot of hellified adventures.
What's the craziest thing I ever got into that you didn't think you was going to get out of? A situation or something.
I tell you what. I'll tell you this. See this story two different ways. Okay? And he actually got mad at me for telling me that one time he didn't talk to me for 2 weeks.
He'd be all right.
But it was the epic saga of Taco Tino. And that's what he named this dude. But it was New Year's Eve in Indianapolis. And we was up there, we was in the VIP section for PD Pablo. Okay.
You mean take your shirt off, twist it around your head like a helicopter?
Yes, he did actually. He puts on one hell of a show, and that man is a monster in person. I'm talking about, I'm not a small guy. I'm almost 6 foot tall. I'm 250 pounds. All right. And I'm solid. Petey came up behind me and took a picture. And this picture is actually it should be on Twitter, actually. But I know it's on my Facebook and my Instagram. But he came up behind me and took a picture. This man dwarfed me. Like I was a midget. Put his hand on my shoulder and covered my entire shoulder. Petey Pablo is a beast.
Well, damn.
But, yeah. But, we're in the VIP section. And he's there with, I'm there with my chick, the mother of my children that I've been with almost 17 years. He's there with our friend Carrie Sidler, who goes by the Icon Promo Queen. This woman is a top-notch promoter in the music business. But he's there with her. We're sitting in VIP. There's these two Latino males sitting behind us. They're older cats. I don't think they even realized it was a PD Pablo show. They was just trying to party for New Year's. They're getting drunk, having a good time. Girls go to the bathroom. The guy takes his cup and puts it on the table. Our table. Hoppy takes offense to this for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, the dude did put his cup on our table. Hoppy takes this cup of ice and launches it at this motherfucker's back. Big.
Well, goddamn.
Dude turns around. Yeah. Dude turns around. He's like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck is that? Runs up on Hoppy. Hoppy starts speaking Russian. So, I mean, I don't know if y'all know this or not. The man speaks fluent Russian. So he's like, he's like, yeah. Hoppy's like, yeah. They're up in each other's face, like about to kill each other. I'm like, oh my fucking gosh, I'm about to go to jail in Indianapolis. So, dude, I stand up. I'm like, man, what the fuck? I walk up. Here comes the Latino dude's homeboy. He walks up. Well, I'm standing there. I'm like, man, we're about to get in a brawl with these motherfuckers. We're about to go to jail. About that time, like 6 big-ass security guards run up. And they're like, hey, man, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all can't be doing this, blah, blah, blah. Petey Pablo's in the house. All this and that. And I'm like, bruh, chill out. I'm trying to tell Hoppy, I'm like, just chill out. It ain't worth it. Dude's like, hey, man, it's all good, Holmes. We good. I'm thinking we're all good. Everything's fine. Dude sits down, tries to buy Hoppy a drink. He's like, here, man, be friends. Hoppy says, man, fuck that. Knocks the drink off the damn table and fuck you. I'm like, here we go again. Long story short, I thought we were going to end up going to jail, getting in a brawl with these cats. Petey Pablo was like 6 seats away from us watching the whole damn thing like, what the fuck? And they actually ended up escorting the other 2 dudes out of VIP, out of the club completely. But I was like, man, this is about to be one fucked up New Year. But that was an epic saga right there.
Well, damn. More interesting.
I'll get you in some shit.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever heard the voicemails he ever leave me? He sound like he get people in some shit.
Man, I love my dude to death, man. But he can, like I said, he can get you in some shit. I don't want to say too much of him get butthurt. I really don't, because I love him to death. He's my brother. I'd give him the shirt off my back, man. But I remember this one time.
Oh, yes, more stories.
This was in 2001. And I come into the back. Now, you got to understand, everybody was on acid but me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one person who isn't on acid. Hoppy, my dude Shorty, my dude D Malone, all on acid. I walk in, Shorty's behind me. Hoppy comes running down the steps. He says, Shorty, We got to go now. He's like, what the fuck's going on? I don't know, but there's people over to your apartment. The shit's done hit the fan. We got to go. I'm like, the fuck? He's like, all right, let's go. They take off running, jump in the car, take off. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I walk up, I see two females and some little small punk bitch walking down the steps. I'm like, what the fuck y'all doing? And he's like, oh no, we was just looking for Shorty and his girlfriend. I'm like, the fuck you want? They're like, oh, nothing. Everything's all good. I'm like, what the fuck was he talking about? Shit hit the fan. You have to remember, this is back before people had cell phones all the damn time.
Yeah.
I had no way to call them. No way. So I go back upstairs into Shorty's apartment, get blunted. They come back like 4 hours later, tripping balls, talking about they found a town full of midgets.
What the fuck?
Bruh, they said there was little bitty houses, little bitty midgets everywhere. Said it was like 4 blocks of nothing but midgets. And they said they named the place Midgetville. I was like, man.
That's some strong shit.
But you know what? I always thought they was completely lying about this shit, right? For about 4 months. One day, Shorty found Midgetville. It was a real place.
What?
Yes. There was a little, small town right outside of Shepherdsville, Kentucky that had nothing but little bitty houses and midgets living there.
What? I need photographic evidence. You need to make a trip.
I swear, man, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I never seen the midgets come out of the houses, but I seen the houses.
Yeah, I mean, I know they exist. I know they're real people. But now, it's always shocking to see one in real life. Because I was taking my kids to school. Well, the youngest one to school, and you see some of the little kids walking to school from their houses and everything, and they had a midget in the front yard of their house, and I thought that was a little kid walking to school. I was sorely mistaken. But
yeah,
looking through some of your Twitter stuff today, I heard, you can tell me if it's true or not, you're a little bit of a wrestling historian.
Yes, I am.
Word. Is this true?
Yes, I am. Yes, this is true.
Oh, what is your earliest memory of professional wrestling?
My earliest memory or my earliest matches that I've studied?
Either or.
All right, my earliest memory that really got me into wrestling was a flag match between Hulk Hogan and Cowboy Bob Orton.
What?
And the funny thing about this match, and this was the first wrestling match I ever watched, Cowboy Bob Orton was flying the Mexican flag. From St. Louis, Missouri, was representing Mexico. Hulk Hogan was representing the good old USA. Hulk Hogan kicked the mud hole in his ass. I just thought Hulk Hogan was the greatest thing in the world. My second memory after that was we was still in cable back then, my mom was, and they showed WrestleMania 2 on cable. And I watched that in awe. I thought it was, she couldn't pull me away from the TV. I wouldn't get up to go to the bathroom, wouldn't go to sleep, watch the entire thing, just like glued to it. And I watched Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy go head to head in a steel cage match, and that was it. Hulk Hogan was the greatest thing in the world. And to be all honest with you, Hulk Hogan, I will forever be a Hulkamaniac because say my prayers, eat my vitamins, and train. I've done it ever since then. Wrestling in general, I have studied it back to the beginning in the Carnies and before then of Frank Gotch. I'm really into Japanese wrestling and catch wrestling. Like I know you have New Japan World.
Yes.
There is a match on there. You go back as far back as you can, and there's a tag match. And tagging together is Luthez and Carl Gotch against Antonio Inoki and somebody else. I forgot who it was. And it is a brilliant match. I'm talking about Carl Gotch was just so fluent and smooth in every movement he made. There was no wasted movement whatsoever. This guy could stretch you a million different ways from Sunday.
And see, that was the thing. I mean, I watched wrestling all my life, and like those names that you mentioned, yes, I've heard of them or whatever, but I've never went back and did the research, you know, looked at the film or the YouTube or whatever and everything. You know, it's just like, but when I do see something like that, you know, being that far back, and they were doing some moves back then that some guys do now that I'm just looking at like, wow, that's amazing. How did they even come to think of that? And they were doing it way back then.
Yeah, I'll tell you a match you should really, when you got time to sit down and YouTube it, is Luthez versus the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. It's just astonishing to just sit there and watch those two. And I mean, back then, man, wrestling was a lot more hard-nosed than it is now.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, not taking it away, but, you know, there's something that died when the WWE really hit the mainstream pop culture, which is called kayfabe.
Yeah.
When kayfabe died, it changed. Which, you know, there's still great guys in wrestling. Don't get me wrong. They changed it. There's a difference. All right. I speak a lot about this in wrestling groups. You got sports entertainers and athletic exhibitionists. Mm-hmm. And there's a difference. Guys like, okay, one point in general. Roman Reigns is a sports entertainer.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to hate on him. He's not the worst wrestler in the world.
Exactly.
He's just shoved down everybody's throat. Kenny Omega is an athletic exhibitionist. Mm-hmm. AJ Styles is an athletic exhibitionist. Shinsuke Nakamura, athletic exhibitionist. Tomohiro Ishii, athletic exhibitionist. These are guys who could really literally kick your ass if they felt like it. Who are going out there and showing you how they could kick your ass if they felt like it. Roman Reigns is just going out there and putting on a show for the kids and the bitches to get wet when he comes out. That's the difference. I'm more into athletic exhibitionist. But I do enjoy watching WWE with my kids. My kids love it. I've really been watching it a lot more since Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura have been on there because I followed their careers since they started wrestling.
Yeah.
But New Japan is what I watch mainly.
Now, what's your favorite wrestler of all time, and what's your favorite wrestler currently?
Favorite wrestler of all time has got to be Ric Flair.
Woo!
Just plain and simple. There's no one who did it like Flair. He was the last of the true world champions that went from region to region to region defending his title. Currently, you can't say AJ Styles isn't having the greatest years of his wrestling life. And that's saying something because he's had some great years, but right now he is at the top of his game. And it's like I told my buddy Josh Ferroni the other day. AJ Styles has made the U.S. title more important than the world title on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. That says it all right there. It's kind of like if you were following New Japan when Nakamura and AJ Styles was the world champion and Nakamura was the Intercontinental champion. People was more interested in Nakamura's Intercontinental champion reign because he was just wowing the crowd with every match. He was doing something different every night. And AJ Styles had an amazing title run there, but it was actually overshadowed by Nakamura's Intercontinental title reign.
Yeah, see, and we had this conversation before. Now, when you say important, do you really mean more entertaining, more eyeballs are on that thing? Because, in value aspect of it, the world title is not more important than, the United States title or the Intercontinental title or anything like that. But when you have somebody that's performing at another level or just on a different page, the eyes are going to be drawn toward that. Because I mean, usually, like, you've been watching wrestling a long time. Usually, when somebody has those titles, the United States title or the U.S. I just said the United States title, the Intercontinental title, they was the next in line to be the heavyweight champion or the world title holder or whatever, because they was the ones busting their ass night to night and just performing circles around everybody. So
it's what they call being groomed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, like, I do agree. AJ Styles is, you know, putting eyes on that United States title and everything. And I believe really what it is kind of what John Cena was doing year previous, to where those guys are made without any title. I mean, you could put them in any situation and everybody would be in shock and awe of all their matches. But when you put that title on that person, it makes the title seem more important. And then when you put that person with, you know, some of the younger talent, or maybe some talent that needs a little bit of tweaking or some type of direction, it brings them up as well.
Well, this is the thing, though. People have got to understand about the WWE. Okay. And I know some people are probably going to listen to this and get butthurt, but I could give really two rats' asses, but this is the truth. WWE is all about who sells the most merchandise.
Yeah, true.
AJ Styles is having the greatest matches of his life right now, and he is putting on a show up on all shows every match he goes out there. But he never would have gotten that opportunity, and I guarantee you he would probably agree with me on this. I'm not going to speak for him, but I would say he probably would, because he's like that. If it wasn't for the fans buying so much of his merchandise the day he debuted at the Royal Rumble, he never would have gotten this opportunity, because he is the exact opposite that Vince McMahon and that buck-toothed little bitch Kevin Dunn look for in a champion.
Wow, tell me how you really feel. A little anger behind
I will. I can't stand Kevin Dunn. I don't know if you know who Kevin Dunn is, but you could.
I heard enough people bitching about him. I know who he is.
Yeah. The man ruined wrestling. In my personal opinion, he's a dick. He's a buck-toothed fucking prick. But AJ Styles is not what they look for. For one, he made his name. Quite honestly, he became the second most popular wrestler in the world. Not the United States, but in the world on his own. That's a fact. Everybody's like, oh, well, wrestling is the WWE. No, wrestling is the WWE in the United States, okay?
Yeah.
In the world, he was the second most famous wrestler in the world 3 years ago. The most famous wrestler in the world at that point in time was actually Shinsuke Nakamura, which is why the WWE paid him millions to sign with them. These guys got big banks for coming over. Big fucking banks.
Now, I've seen Shinsuke's older stuff. You know, I started really tracking New Japan around Wrestle Kingdom 9.
Ooh, yeah, good one.
But how do you think he's doing so far here?
This is the thing. I think he's finally getting to do what he can really do. I think his match with Randy Orton was amazing. I think his match with Sami Zayn was amazing. I think before then, I think in between that first match with Sami Zayn and that match with Randy Orton and the match with John Cena, there was a lot of guys bitching, because Shinsuke Nakamura is an athletic exhibitionist. He's not a sports entertainer, and they were bitching, whining, and complaining, saying he was making too much contact. Bitch, it's pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Get over it. It's not ballet, okay?
And I do kind of agree with that, because I mean, I believe it probably was a culture shock coming from, you know, the environment that is New Japan to the WWE. Because I mean, if you watch any New Japan currently, and maybe even back beyond that, them motherfuckers was hitting the shit out of each other.
They don't hold back. They don't pull punches. They really what strong style is hitting somebody as hard as you fucking can in a place that won't kill them. I mean, that's just basically what it is. And I mean, I love strong style. You cannot. Anybody in New Japan is an athletic exhibitionist. You cannot go to New Japan and be a sports entertainer. It just ain't going to work. There's certain rules to Japan wrestling in general, all Japan and New Japan, that they do not follow in WWE. Like something that WWE does that I'm sure you've watched the videos for. They call their moves in the ring. Like, here we go. Snap there, like that. You can't do that in Japan. If the crowd hears you call a move in Japan, they immediately lose interest. They'll actually get up out of their seats and go get something to drink. Man. You can't do that.
Yeah, man. What's really crazy is just that, dude that's coming into his own. I know he's been with the company for a while in New Japan, but Tomohiro Ishii, that dude there, he really I didn't really dig him as much, but he really turned it around for me when he was in that United States title tournament and everything, and he went up against Kenny Omega. That he really turned it around for me is how I view that guy.
I've been a fan of his for years, and you brought up Kingdom 9. Watch his match at Wrestle Kingdom 9, where he loses the never open title.
Yeah, I seen that.
He got hit so hard and so many times in that match that he actually had a severe concussion, and he comes out of the ring and pukes his guts up. I mean, you're talking about a guy who goes into the damn ring and fights so fucking hard that when he comes out of the ring, he pukes his guts up. How can you not love that?
And what I've noticed from watching New Japan, I mean, this is just my opinions. It's not like gospel or fact. It's just like a lot of the guys that been there around, like Suzuki and Tanahashi. Mm-hmm. Well, not Tanahashi. Tanahashi is a little bit different, but Suzuki. What's the guy at Big Blue Justice? God damn it! I can't remember the names because the names in general just fuck me up. But a lot of the guys that's older and they've been there for a while, they wrestle a certain style. I mean, they have a couple signature moves and everything that the crowd really looks for. That's what kind of made them famous. But other than that, the whole match is just strong strikes, forearms, kicks, all that. I noticed that with a lot of the older guys. Now, you got the guys like Tanahashi and Kushida and Bushi and Hitachi and all the younger guys. I feel like they still do the strong style, but they wrestle more of a style that's indicative to WWE. I mean, they have more sequences and everything, and just a lot of bigger spots than the older guys would do.
They do, but at the same time, they still keep it traditional.
Yeah.
So, I will dare say that you will never find a better match than Okada versus Kenny Omega. That is the greatest wrestling match that ever happened, ever. 1 and 2. You will never find a better wrestling match. That is the epitome of what wrestling should be. They go in there and they tell a story, a power struggle between two men fighting for what they want, which is pride and recognition to be the best at what they do. Yeah. And that's what they did. And that's wrestling. That's that beauty. That's that essence of that story that you get so captivated into it that you're in utter awe of how hard they're going into paint. You don't get that in WWE much anymore.
Yeah. Now, I feel it in my heart of hearts. I feel it deep down in all my bones. Wrestle Kingdom, what is this going to be, 12?
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Omega taking the title. He has to.
Maybe. He's recovering from a knee injury right now.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is.
Well, Wrestle Kingdom is a ways away, so he still got time.
Yeah, he does. But he's it's not a severe knee injury, but I follow him on Twitter, and he's actually just posted a picture that he started rehabilitation yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, he was wearing the coolest Andre the Giant shirt I've ever seen in my life. But that's another story altogether. He had the New Japan Andre the Giant T-shirt.
Oh shit, that's old vintage.
Yeah, it was
Michael Cole was.
Yeah, it was badass. And the main reason I plugged this T-shirt is because when I wore his T-shirt and I posted it on Twitter that I was wearing it, he gave me some love on that T-shirt, so I'm giving him some love back on his.
Yeah, he, from what I've seen on Twitter, and he's a real cool guy.
Oh, for sure, dude. And I mean, he is what wrestling is. Dude, he is the future of wrestling, without a doubt. I mean, what everybody wants to see, people want to see him in WWE. I don't want to see him in WWE. Fuck that. They're gonna fuck up his style.
Yeah. Well, I think he would adapt. I think he would adapt really well if he ever made the jump.
He would, just like AJ Styles would. But he would have to get everybody listening, seriously, if Kenny Omega ever signs with the WWE, buy as much of his merchandise as you possibly can if you want to see him do what he really does.
Mm-hmm. Now,
all about merchandise.
Now with him, would you slingshot him straight to the top, like to the main roster, or would you shoot him down to NXT for a little bit?
You know, the thing is NXT is actually better than WWE.
Yeah, everybody says that.
Because it is. I mean, right now, the stars they got in NXT is, they might as well name it Ring of Honor 2.0. Because, I mean, that's what it's became. But I think he would enjoy being in NXT before he went to WWE. But I don't think he would have any problem whatsoever being slingshotted straight to the top. Because he's that damn good.
Yeah. Do you listen to any wrestling podcasts or anything like that?
Every now and then when I get a chance, like Hoppy told you, I got 9 kids.
Oh yeah. I got 3. I can understand your pain. But if you ever get the chance, since we're talking about Kenny Omega, Edge and Christian have their own podcast now. And he was on the Edge and Christian show. And it was a pretty good interview. I would recommend anybody who wants to know a little bit more about the personality of Kenny Omega and his struggles and his come-ups. That's a good interview to start with.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I'm looking forward. Honestly, you keep on thinking he's going to wrestle for the world title at Wrestle Kingdom. Look for him to wrestle Kota Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're familiar with Kota Ibushi, right?
Yes.
All right. That man and Kenny Omega and him have a history. They were former tag team partners, and the reason Omega came to Japan was because of him. Yeah,
because they wrestled in DDT together or something like that, right?
Yeah, they were the Golden Lovers. It was a lame gimmick, but I mean their performances outshine the gimmick.
Made it work.
Yeah, definitely. But I would say that him and Ibushi are going to wrestle at Wrestle Kingdom 12, and they're probably going to steal the show.
Yeah, because Ibushi is a crazy athletic motherfucker too.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, Wrestle Kingdom 9, which is surprisingly is why a lot of people got into New Japan, and they can thank Jeff Jarrett for that because Jeff Jarrett is the one who brought that here.
Yeah.
His match, he wrestles Nakamura on that pay-per-view, and it steals the show. It's better than Tanahashi and Okada.
I mean, I understand the appeal of, you know what, I'm not going to say I understand the appeal. I understand the popularity of Okada, but I really don't dig the dude too much. Everybody's like, oh God, he's the greatest in the world, and blah, 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 blah. But you're forgetting, there's always 2 people in the match. So is it the other person just that good, or is it actually him?
He's not bad. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not saying he sucks or nothing. I'm just saying, but I'm not into him like everybody else is.
He does certain things. He's more of a WWE style wrestler.
Exactly.
Okada, if you know this, when I was talking about athletic exhibitionist, I didn't say Okada. Okada is a sports entertainer, but he he's actually more of a Randy Orton type wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He knows where them cameras are at.
Oh yeah.
And he knows when to hit certain spots. And he's not going to go out there and do some crazy backflips like Ibushi. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to make a flying crossbody so damn exciting. You're like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that is crazy. I mean, is simplicity, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the moves he have in his arsenal, the freaking the little neck, the red ink, the neck breaker, the little submission move he got, the actual rainmaker itself, that drop kick is over more than anything else.
Yeah, it is. But it's a badass drop kick.
Yeah, it is, because I mean the dude is like 6'4", and just to see him lay out freaking parallel to the ground in a drop kick is just crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is when it comes to the business, at such a young age in such a competitive market, mm-hmm. he has stayed on top in the whole country of Japan as the top guy in wrestling. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's saying something. I mean, regardless of whether or not he's the best in-ring catch-can technician or the greatest high flyer or any of that, he is the most popular in Japan, and he knows how to work the crowd.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can't, and the guy is part of like I said, in my opinion, the greatest wrestling match that ever happened, back to back, Okada Omega 1 and 2. He was a part of that, and mm-hmm. there's nothing. I mean, Omega did put on a fucking show, and Omega, I don't know if you ever watched videos, Omega had 5-star matches with a blow-up doll, and he had 5-star matches with like a 7-year-old little girl.
Yeah, I seen those. Those are freaking crazy. and that's the thing, though. That's what I'm talking about. There's 2 people involved in every match, unless it's in the case of the blow-up doll. But is it him or is it freaking Omega? You know? Yeah, you gotta say he plays a part in it. Yeah, I mean, it's like a give and take. It's a give and take.
Yeah, he's not the most athletic man in the world, but what he does, he puts that on it to where you're watching, like the drop kick, a simple ass drop kick, a simple ass clothesline.
Yeah, because that Rainmaker dog, they when they take that shit, they spin very much. They like cut 2 backflips.
Yeah, they sell it. They sell it good. That's what you would call selling. Yeah. They sell it good, but he hits them hard. Don't get me wrong. It's New Japan. If he hit him like a bitch, he'd catch heat in the back.
Oh yeah.
He'd probably get slapped around.
Yeah.
I mean, them guys in Japan, man. People don't realize when you train in Japan, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah, just like Mark Henry music. Somebody gonna get their ass whipped.
Exactly.
And that's what I kind of dig about their training system down there in New Japan or whatever. It's a rite of passage to be a professional wrestler, to be a star in New Japan, because I mean it's almost like a fraternity, man. They go down there, they pledge their allegiance to one of the freaking factions they got down there, like Chaos or the Bullet Club, or what else they got? They got I can't pronounce the goddamn name. Something gun or whatever the fuck. Anyway, but they pick their fraternity and they pledge allegiance to it. And then what I think is cool about their training stuff, they call them young lions, and they're not allowed to wear anything but the black tights and the black boots.
Yep. And then they gotta earn it.
Yeah, they gotta earn everything. And I really dig that a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, and you know, the thing is a lot of those guys who train in Japan and they train in the New Japan dojo and stuff, a lot of them go on to MMA careers. A lot of them, you know, they don't just stick with pro wrestling, because a lot of people want to go there and learn that catch style, that Japanese pro wrestling style that Antonio Inoki, carved out himself. I mean, people don't realize Antonio Inoki is a legit badass motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like I was telling my buddy Scooter the other day, who has his own podcast, but Goon Squad out. But Antonio Inoki slaps you in the face, it's considered an honor.
Yeah.
And people don't get that, there's a lot of guys in MMA who would just love to be slapped by Antonio Inoki. He's that badass. And you're talking about the great-grandfather of catch strong style wrestling right there. And he's that much respected.
Yeah. And what, the Young Lion shit or whatever, what I think is so fucking funny is when they get in there with a veteran, they dog the shit out of them.
Yeah, they do.
They dog the mess out of them, boy. And it's just, cause, like even, the Young Lions they have at ringside, cause they stay for the whole event. If they have a match or not, they ringside, they catering to whoever in the ring or whatever. I seen, what's his name? Suzuki or whatever. He rolled out of the ring and one of the young lions
popped him in his mouth.
Yeah. One of the young lions was like directing them to like the entranceway or the exit that they go to. And he damn slapped him in the face just cause.
Yeah. And I mean, Minoru Suzuki, you're talking about the grandfather of Pancrase there.
Yeah.
The guy, I posted a video, I don't know if you caught it on Facebook not too long ago, where he capped Ken Shamrock out like a bitch.
I know, just like you're saying, a lot of those guys are legit badasses, man, because some of them have actual MMA records.
Yeah. Sakuraba wrestled for New Japan for years, and Sakuraba is the Gracie Hunter. And like I said, Minoru Suzuki he's quite possibly the most dangerous man alive. The dude is, if you follow Pancrase before UFC and during UFC when they was first starting out UFC 1, like I said, this guy capped Ken Shamrock out like a bitch. Yeah. Minoru Suzuki is a legit tough, bad motherfucker. He is no one you want to mess with. So when you get into a ring with him, you don't want to take any liberties with him whatsoever because he's going to fucking kill you.
Yeah. Nah, we done nerded out on wrestling for quite a bit.
Yeah, we did.
So, what's the name of the new album?
I told you, man, you get me started on wrestling as a rap, bro.
I understand.
This album is called Revelations. Mm-hmm. And the reason it's called Revelations is because this is my last solo album.
Okay.
I'm not doing no more solos. I'm doing more, after this, I'm more into management and booking new talent, and I'm going to do projects with my group Infamous Society. But this is my last solo album, so I'm calling it Revelations. I'm putting everything I got into this, and for real, it's for my fans. Because honestly, when I started putting out my solo stuff and shit, I had time to do it. Mm-hmm. I ain't had the time to do it like that no more.
Yeah.
So this is like a big farewell. Everybody that followed me from day one when the Anomaly was born with Project Life Volume 1 and the whole MySpace shit, which really helped my career and boosted me, to all these damn stage shows I've done, all this shit. This album is for all them people. And, it's my last hurrah as a solo artist. I'm not doing it no more. After that, it's just features and, group albums with my boys, because it's easier for me to do that. This shit is time consuming. I ain't got the time to do it like that no more.
Okay. Now you're coming to the end of a storied career, solo wise anyway.
Yeah.
If you have it, I was thinking about this earlier today when you sent me the music from your final album. Do you have a song that you are the most fond of out of your whole career? It's just that one song that you love the most out of all your babies.
There is. And it's not even on the CD. And that says something. And you can go to, the best option is just to go to SoundCloud. I know that's cliche, but you can go to soundcloud.com/the original Anomaly, and it's called Ain't No Sunshine. Or you can go to reverbnation.com/Brown49, and it's called Ain't No Sunshine. It's a very powerful song I wrote years ago, and it is my all-time favorite song. It is it's a tragic story. It's kind of stalkerish to a degree.
We all got some of that.
Well, basically, the reason I love this song so much is because it tells a story. It tells a story of someone being heartbroken by a female, and at the end of it, it all comes to a horrid conclusion.
Okay.
And that's the best one to me.
I can't quote it exactly, but Leonardo DiCaprio from Django, he's like, "Sir, you had what he said, you had my curiosity, now you have my attention."
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very dark song, but yeah, it's my all-time favorite song that I've ever done. And, you know, ironically, it's got more plays than any song that I've ever done online. It's got more hits than any other song, so other people agree with me as well.
All right.
But, I mean, dude, the thing is I've told Hobby this. I did more with this shit than I ever expected. I never in my life thought I would go this far with music. So, I mean, I'm just grateful that a poor piece of white trash from South Louisville, Kentucky in the housing projects, who was raised up on $220 a month on his mama's welfare, made it this far. Dude, to even have one thing was a blessing. To get the love that I've gotten and the respect from my peers that I've gotten, it means more to me and made my life as complete as it could possibly be. I feel accomplished in this shit. And I mean, I gotta thank every person who ever listened to my damn music, every person who ever paid attention to my flows, every person who stood up and watched me on stage, watched my YouTube videos, watched my concert videos, every promoter who put me up on stage, man, y'all made my life complete. And I mean, I'm thankful and grateful for all that.
Man, you got me fucking tearing up over here and shit.
I mean, seriously, dude, I mean, for everybody who's listening, if you go to YouTube and Google and search Infamous Society, and you can check out my live shows. Whenever I do a live show, I give you 110% of me. And so does my crew. My crew goes out there. We give you a show. We don't just go up there and stand on the mic and go, blah, 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 blah. We go out there and you're talking, we prepare a month in advance, choreography, stage presence, and everything just to entertain y'all. And normally we do it for free. We're doing stage shows for free just for the promotion and the opportunity to gain new fans and to, you know, pass our CD out to somebody or sell our CD to somebody. We're doing this for the love. We're not doing this for millions and millions of dollars. If I was doing music to feed my family would have done starved to death like some Ethiopians.
Oh, man. But I mean,
we do it for the love, brother.
And that's great to hear, dude. And I mean, I think this is no better place than to put a pin in it right here, man. What I'm going to do, since that's your baby, in the bonus content of this episode, at the end, I'm going to look up that song, Ain't No Sunshine, and we're going to play that for everybody to listen to. So you got like your beginnings and your endings all in one episode.
That'll work.
All right. Where can people find you on social media, man?
You can look me up on Facebook. Just type in Christopher Yates. I'll pop up. Or you can type in the original Anomaly. I'll pop up. Or you can follow me on Twitter at ANOMALY 49. Which I'm using, you know, the at sign is the A. You know, like Hoppy said, I'm clever.
Yeah, I didn't even peep that. I was just like, oh, somebody probably got Anomaly already. So,
Nah. Nah, I was just trying to be clever.
all right, man. Thank you for sharing your time with me. You brought some insight to my life as far as professional wrestling goes, or even as music goes. As always, you've been a guest on the show once. I appreciate you for giving me your time once again, and the door is always open for you to come back if you ever want to.
Hey, man, I had a great time, man. This is an honor to even be on your show, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man.
Now, I don't know about honored or anything like that, but I still appreciate your time.
Hey, you gave me your time, so I feel honored.
All right, man. I dig it. And that is the show for this edition. And man, we talked about a lot of things. We talked about musical career, and just our general thoughts of this generation of hip hop and rap and whatnot. And half of the interview was about professional wrestling, which for a fact, I can't turn down a conversation about professional wrestling. And it's cool talking with people that like the same things that you like, because what you know about that particular thing, and it's cool hearing some things that you didn't know from somebody else that's a fan of the thing that you like as well. But it's great, and if you like the wrestling talk, there will be some more next week when finally my returning guest, he's back for the second time, Sock Monkey Mike. I see I had to slow it down when I said it because I was going to say Sock Money. I don't know why. But, yeah, got him on. And we did more than, this abrupt interview like we did the first time. But we air out a lot of things, and we kind of recap some of the stuff that we talked about the first time that nobody will ever hear because it went up in smoke on the old hard drive when it died. But anyway, look forward to that next week. And that's about it. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at itsbrob. That's ITSBROB. If you want to talk professional wrestling and other general shenanigans, that's the account that you do it on. Also, the show has its own Twitter account, which you can follow it on Twitter at, wait for it. I kind of fucked that up. Wait for it. _podcast for updates with the show, guests, and so on and so forth. You can also go to randomrobcast.com. I'm looking for another website service, I got one. I only pay like $14 a month for the domain, the web service and everything, but I'm looking for more, So I might be changing my website service, not the domain, because it'll still be randomrobcast.com that you can go to and find out ways to help out the show, have it grow and blossom and flourish like a flower. You can buy merchandise. I got some t-shirts on there. If you got any ideas for, Random Robcast merchandise and t-shirts, shoot them my way. We'll plot some things up. I'll shoot you a free shirt with your design that we came up with. And, if I make some money off of it, I'll give you a little something on the side, a little under the table action, not with my feet or my hands or nothing. I'm not trying to touch genitals or anything sexual, unless you want me to. Hey, man, it's over now, but, it's 12:01. The sun been set, but the day has closed on, Mrs. B. Rob birthday. Her birthday was yesterday on September 16th, and, Tuesday, September 19th, it'll be our 9-year anniversary. We've been married for 9 whole years as of Tuesday, the 19th. And we got, I don't know, maybe I can talk her into doing an anniversary episode, just me and her chitter-chatting and everything. Got a funny little it's not even really a story. After we got married, not too long after, I deployed to Iraq I was gone for like 6-7 months. I came back. We went down to Florida to take a trip, visit family and everything. And we got tattoos. And if we wind up doing an anniversary show, we'll tell you what the tattoos entail and whatnot. If I hadn't already spilled the beans on it on the past episode, I don't remember. But if we don't do an anniversary episode, I'll just tell you on another time. Yeah, t-shirts, Amazon links, just hit the Amazon link, take it to Amazon, bookmark it, make that your favorites. And then anytime you shop on Amazon, I get a little kickback and you don't pay extra. You can be a patron like Brandon McIntyre and Glenn Abbott. They contribute to the show monetarily. And it's awesome. Please do it. I'll send you free shit. As much free shit that I can afford, And follow me on Instagram. Look up Random Ramblers with Rob. And you can watch me walk through the hollowed halls of Walmart or just doing any other general shenanigans. You can watch me. Well, I didn't do video, but you can see pictures of me ripping apart my MacBook Pro and blowing all the dust that I accumulated inside of it from Afghanistan and replacing the hard drive and everything. Pretty cool stuff. Hey, the Random Ramblers with Rob is in association with Hush Your Face Entertainment, collective of podcasts that join together and make things happen. My man Rocky just interviewed Super Crazy, professional wrestler, ECW, WCW, WWE, Mexicools, and he solicited me for some questions, so that episode should be up. I'll shoot some links around. I'll give you some retweets. You can see that thing going on. Also, as we discussed in this podcast, Anomaly said he had a song that's near and dear to his heart. We talked about it during the interview, and I'm gonna have that right after I finish yucking and shucking and jiggity jabbing in my mouth as a bonus content section. So I'll let you get to that right now, and I'll see you next time. Bonus content.
Trifling dirty hoe.
Your Face is coming straight to your ears. A podcast network that's changing gears, bringing fresh funky pods with a fresh funky beat. A family of pods that are bringing the heat. There ain't no stopping us. Keep coming back to us, sick ass pods that'll make you hush. www Hush Your Face. www Hush Your Face. www HushYourFace.com.